Hi, and welcome to Sustainably Smart Talks. I'm your host, AJ Makarapa, and today I'm joined to you by Tafreed, and he's a founder of SHEEN. SHEEN is actually based in the United States, in New York. And Tafreed's going to talk to us today about his journey. He blends a little bit of what we aim to showcase in Sustainably Smart Talks, where we bring you industry leaders and people who are at the head of their profession. So, Tafreed, little welcome introduction to tell us about yourself, your journey so far, and what would you like to us to know is specifically about the conscious designs that you're making, transforming in the New York landscape.
First of all, thank you very much. And hello, everyone. And again, thank you, AJ, for inviting me here and giving me the opportunity to become one of the voices on your absolute brilliant podcast. Yes, let me just give you a small introduction of myself. I'm Tafreed, the founder of SHEEN, an ethical fashion brand built on the belief that elegance should never come at the cost of people and slash or the planet. What we do goes beyond clothing. We focus on redefining how we think about fashion, values, and responsibility in a world driven by speed and excesses. I believe this conversation matters because fashion touches everyone.
Yes, I agree.
What we wear carries hidden stories of labor, resources, and impact. And most people were never taught how to question them. And here we're not just talking about sustainability as a trend. I mean, the platform that we build as SHEEN Webisodes, but as a mindset shift that affect how we consume, create, and live. So if you have ever wondered whether style and ethics can truly coexist, this is a conversation worth listening to.
Yes, indeed, I agree with that. I like the fact that it's about not destroying the planet, and that's what
Mhm.
we aim to try to do. I try to leave the planet a little bit better than how I found it, and that's why I'm very dedicated to the Sustainable Development Goals set by the United Nations. But
Yeah.
what does Zayshin actually mean to you? What does Zayshin mean?
What Zayshin actually means to me. When I started Zayshin, I just started is at selling clothes back in 2020. But now it's truly become, of course, one of my passion. And it actually more than selling anything or making profits. It's just making an impact, making the right conscious decisions that could help people and the planet, and how we can make the world a better place for, again, the people and the planet. I put people first because there are a lot of not so ethical processes happening all across the globe. Even in the US, we're not, I always say, when I'm saying this, it's not just I'm talking about the third world countries, it's everywhere across the globe. Even in the US, UK, um, Australia, or whatever the top countries are.
Yes, indeed. And what do you think? How can we combat what's going on in fashion? Because America is very much a consumerist society. I've been across the world myself. I'm recently coming from Brazil, and
Uh-huh.
that's also in the Americas itself. But there's not really a huge influx for that consumerist mindset. But there is that trend that we see, especially in the first world and like in America and as well here in the UK. I know people with bucket loads and bucket loads of clothes that they don't even wear that they just ends up going to waste. But how would you think we could get people to be more conscious about how they're consuming the fashion? Because fashion is a very important thing. We know that fashion people love their fashion. I think right now quarter zippers are in trend at the moment for some reason, and then matcha. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
how do we make sure that when people hop into the next fashion trend, it's also not to the detriment of our society?
So that's such a great question, AJ. We've been in 4 trends a year to now 52 trends a week. I mean, a year. By every week, a new trend. I just recently had a webisode with one of the guests. a shout out to her. She told me an interesting thing. She said, I buy clothes by counting the hangers I have in my closet. If the hangers are full, I'm not buying anything else, even though I love that piece the most. Maybe that's one piece exist. I would never buy that. First, I would take care of what I have in my closet, and then I'm gonna, if I needed to, not feel like, but I need to buy something new, then I'll go and buy new stuff. And of course, US, it's kind of sad that we do a lot of consumption, especially this holiday season, where it's happening right now. Um, we can reduce the amount of clothes that we consume or overall things by just be conscious. If we really need that, just take a second, think about, okay, I am buying this. Do I really need that? Maybe if I just spend 5 more minutes digging down my closet, I'll be able to find the pajamas I bought last year for Christmas. So I don't have to buy it this year. Because, first of all, it's going to help your um, pocket.
Okay, I agree with
You
that.
know, so many people are so conscious about their pockets. So it will help you. Sustainability actually helps you to save your money, your pockets. And then of course you're less consuming, and it has a positive impact.
Yes, I agree with that. So walk us through some of the things that your regular consumer would not know about what's happening in the fashion industry. Some things that
Mhm.
they can take home after listening to this today to know, like, okay, this is my impact when I consume this way in so many clothing, in terms of like material choices that are out there, in terms of yeah, typical choices that you make in terms of fashion. How could we change the consumer's mindset today? What things would you let them know?
We First of all, the one word that I would emphasize the most is education. Consumers need to understand that every fabric choice carries a story, how it's made, who made it, and what impact it leaves behind. There is a real human being who made those
That's
clothes.
very much I agree with.
When people start valuing longevity over novelty, then they naturally move towards better materials and organic materials like cotton, linen, or recycled fibers. And it's about teaching that sustainability isn't about buying more eco-friendly things, even though I say, okay, some people say, whenever I buy, I support ethical brands, sustainable brands, but you are keep buying. It doesn't make a difference. If you keep consuming products, even though, of course, that's a good thing that you're supporting the natural resources, but of course, it's still at the same time it's overconsumption. Do you really need that? Again, that question. So it's about buying fewer, better things that last.
Okay, okay. So tell me some of the biggest lessons you encountered as being a founder in the first year.
Um. Oh wow, that's a long time ago. So the first year taught me that values are tested most when growth feels slow,
Okay.
and it's easy to compromise when shortcuts promise faster results.
Ah, okay, that makes sense.
But I realized every compromise weakens the foundation you're trying to build. And I also learned that clarity is a power. Once I become clear about what Zaishin stands for, decisions became easier and more aligned with the purpose.
Awesome.
You have to know your why you started. What is the mission of you and your brand. It should reflect that. Of course, there's a lot of shortcuts that I just mentioned, but does that gonna affect, or does that gonna help you in a positive way that you wanted to convey to the people
Yes, sir.
or the planet? These are the questions that we should be asking ourselves.
Yes, I agree with that. And you're not just your typical fashion industry producer. You also run your own platform as well online. You're advocating for this as well. Can you tell me about how does storytelling
Oh man.
amalgamate as well with connecting with sustainability as a style? That's a very important thing.
Oh, thank you, AJ, for asking that. Not too long ago when I started this, you're talking about Zacian Webisodes, right?
Realization episodes, yes.
Right, right. So first of all, to the people who are listening to this, I just wanted to say, if you want to do something, please do it. Don't wait. Don't wait for the right time, because the right time is the moment that you start the thing. Because I had the idea to start the Webisodes back in 2021.
Sorry about that. I had lost some connectivity there.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yeah, perfect. Let's go. So we can pick it up from the question, and then we will edit it in a way that it streamlines it
No
good.
worries. Yeah, so I was saying that do it what you feel like, what you need to be done. Just do it, because I got this idea back in 2021 to start the Webisodes, but I waited for the right time. Or maybe, if I be honest, and I asked this question to myself too, why I didn't start the Webisodes. It was like I wasn't confident enough. I didn't believe in myself that I could do that, and I'll be able to talk to people in order to have the conversations. That was, I'm very much scared to do so. But yeah, I started this because sustainability can feel abstract, but when you share the human stories behind each garment, who made it, how it was crafted, um, and the you know why these things exist. So you care about this more. So I started the platform because I wanted to share those stories behind the scenes, so we can educate people. We can build the awareness, so the next time when a person going to buy something, they will be more cautious with their decision.
Okay. Can you point me out to some of the people you've connected to, things that you've discussed together, and what long-lasting impact do you think that has made so far with Zacian episodes?
Oh wow! One more thing that I wanted to mention is we just started it 6 months ago, and we generated over 500,000 views across all social media platforms. We spread the voices over 26 guests in the past 6 months, and it actually made the difference. I get the comments all the time. I get the DMs on Instagram, even on my personal profile. And people were like, some people disagree
Yes, I
sometimes,
agree.
but we need to, explain them what could be the reason behind of the guest said, what was the mindset, how they can implement into their lives. But most of the times, positive responses, and people are actually taking action. If I could count, I believe about 6 people messaged me and tell them they stopped buying for new things for the next 60 days. There was a challenge that one of the guests started, not to buy for first 30 days and then extend it to the 60 days, and people did that.
Honestly, I think this is coming at the right time because we're recording this just before Christmas, you know?
Oh yeah,
Right
that's
right
right.
before Christmas. I think this is perfect timing, you know. But
Oh.
I do understand that we said we should choose longevity, identify quality,
Mhm,
but how do you really make
mhm,
those choices? I can say some people find some cottons are just okay.
mhm,
Some is there grading of cotton? Is there grading of
mhm.
certain type of materials? How can we identify this? Not just are we influenced by price? Are we influenced by what are the key markers we should be looking for if we have to make that purchase?
The very interesting word you just said was price. I just wanted to clear one thing with all the people. The price tag doesn't mean that the product is good. If you're buying a $300 jacket, that doesn't mean that's a good quality. That could be a branding that it depends where you're buying it from. It's not, it couldn't be the best quality in the world. It's just a price tag. So some people comes to me, and of course I get the comments all the time. I spend about $180 on this t-shirt and it's a great quality. Of course, sometimes it does, and but it doesn't define the quality of that. But when it comes to identifying quality materials like cotton, it's important to look beyond the label.
Okay.
Organic cotton, for example, um, is grown without harmful chemicals and use far less water.
Okay.
Um, I remember the chemicals. I remember one time one of the guests shared a story on my Webisodes, and she said her dad was a worker in the field, and those and some pesticides happened to those to that farm, and they just sprayed the chemicals with the airplane, and the workers were working there, and the spray was all over them. And that was one of the crazy stories, and this is not how we should be treating humans.
Just agree with that.
We should be more careful. It's not something, we're saving time. For what? You are putting people's lives on the line and saving time, and it doesn't make any
It's
sense. So you can often, I'm
no,
sorry,
no, I agree
you
with
said
that.
something.
It's definitely agree with that. It's one of those things that we when we're stuck in industry and we consider profits over lives. It's just one of those sad realities that I've had to negotiate. I've had to deal with myself as well. But as you were saying, Tafreed.
Yeah. um I agree. We have to be more conscious about this. So you can also often feel the difference. It's softer, more breathable. I mean, I'm talking about the cotton, and lasts longer. And also, some consumers are very, very conscious, which I love. You can also check the certifications like GOATs or Fair
Okay.
Trades or B Corps are also verified that fabrics were produced ethically and
Okay.
sustainably. And these are the things that consumers can do so they can avoid the big issue called greenwashing,
Okay.
and also support the actual people or the brand.
Okay. Okay. I agree with that. Your technical expertise as well involves cybersecurity. I want to know how do you blend that in with the work you do at Zayshin now?
Oh gosh. Give me a second to think about it. I never thought of
No
that.
problem. No problem. It's just the empty small talks.
Oh yeah. Um Cybersecurity and fashion might sound unrelated, which it maybe, but both are about trust and transparency, which I understood because in cybersecurity, about the job, how conscious you have to be with all the malwares and phishing and all that stuff. And again, the trust and transparency in both
Yes, I agree.
worlds. So in cybersecurity, if I give you an example, it's you protect data. In sustainable fashion, you protect integrity. I use that mindset to ensure that the information we share through our platform Zayshin is authentic, that our collections are transparent, and that the technology helps us build accountability rather than just
Yes,
aesthetics.
indeed. Yes, indeed. It's about integrity, and I can see you build that throughout your team. So tell me, how does your team work, and how do you inspire them on your vision that you've set with Zayshin?
Oh man, I'm very glad the team loves me.
Which is a great thing. It's a sign of good leadership.
Almost all the, I mean, I'm not praising myself here, but if you ever get a chance to talk to my team, you can ask anyone. They say Tafreed is the best person we worked with ever. And but the reason I feel like it is I always take care of the people who are aligned with me. I was actually talking to our brand ambassador um, last night. His name is um, John Blakely, and I was telling him that if you are working with me, my style is even though okay, if you're not working with me, this is the way I treat
Yes, I
people.
agree.
So I treat people the way I want it to be treated. So the first step is to give the give that you have.
Yes, I agree with that.
So I applied to with my normal job at the office with my team members, with the guest. I just wanted to give the best that I know with my knowledge. I'm not an expert.
Hmm.
There's tons of things that I don't know, but the things I know, I try to do it best and make it easier for the next person. So they feel like, oh, the free did this much for us, and that's just a side effect.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. You started the brand in 2020. This is, I don't think, after the pandemic, right? Just after the pandemic.
It was during the
During the
pandemic.
pandemic, that must have been very difficult,
Yeah.
and because I don't think people were trying to go into like look at my new knit, because yeah, that was all the fashion trends, and then you've emerged at a time when brands were struggling. Zayshin has emerged. That takes some
AJ,
resilience.
I'm glad you asked me that question. um what happened was we started selling the clothes of our traditional clothes, like Pakistani and Indian clothes. So our market was totally different. Our market was housewives, or like just a normal woman that we have in our culture. Those were, our targeted audience. So it doesn't affect even if the COVID was there. So I remember my we used to have a channel on YouTube called Zubia's Kitchen. We used to upload cooking videos over there.
Okay.
And one day, my mom ordered clothes and from Pakistan, and we got the parcel. Um, we were in Thailand at that time, so we shared those dresses online as a vlog. My mom shared those, and we started getting the comments. Oh, are you selling those? Are you selling those? Where can I buy it? And my mom was like, no, it's just my clothes. I'm just showing to the people that, as a vlog. So that what clicked my mind, and I said, yeah, maybe this is a
Yes,
sign
I agree.
we should start.
Yes, I agree with that.
So that's how we started, and then it wasn't sustainable at that time. I just started as selling. I saw the market gap, and I said, yeah, let me fill it up.
Okay, so we've walked a couple through what are the first few signs of what a truly sustainable, high quality clothing looks like. So, but what are the hardest trade-offs you make between choosing sustainability and fast fashion? What are the trade-offs a person has to make?
You said
So,
between. I'm
between
sorry.
fast
Come
fashion
again.
and sustainable choices, what are the trade-offs other than cost?
Okay. Okay. That's really a good question. First of all, again, I'm very glad, AJ. Um, I think the biggest trade-off is convenience versus consciousness. Fast fashion gives you instant gratification, but sustainability asks for patience
Okay.
and intention. It might cost a bit more or take longer to produce, but when you get it, uh, but what you get in return is transparency,
Okay.
quality, and respect for the people
Okay.
and the
I think the
planet.
last two are very, very important. Gotta have humans in high regard to endeavor in this, you know. It takes a very selfless thing to keep on, you know, you make conscious choices with what you do, just from like
Yeah,
the things that how I consume energy, how I dress, and how these things take time. Even how we exchange information today. The fact that I knew it took
yeah,
some materials to build these cameras, these microphones, is that yeah, let's make it to good use. That has its lifetime use, so before it has to degrade in terms of that. But
right.
that's just over like maybe a generation of like 25 years. But what would you say that what are the evolving trends happening over the next 5 to 10 years when it comes to slow fashion?
Mhm. Before answering this, I would just wanted to say a few more things. The question before you
Okay.
asked me was, I wanted to add that nowadays, the consumer's behavior that I notice is we are not so patient anymore.
Yes, I agree.
We need everything fast. We need fast. Thinking about it, I need it right now. Amazon delivery within the next 24 hours or 12 hours will deliver it to you. Or brands are competing with each other. Okay, I just placed the order. How soon it gonna be at my door? And people are pushing, and the gurus are pushing that. Okay, if you receive the order, ship it right away so it can be there within the next 2 days. Of course, it will be all right. But I'm just talking about the patience thing. We need to be patient. It takes time to build things. It takes time to build something meaningful. There are thoughts, there are people who are actually working behind it. So, we just need to be a little more patient.
Yes, indeed. I agree with that. I agree with that.
And to the question that she asked me, you said how many years? Five
5 to 10
years?
years. Let's say 5 to 10
Five to
years. Yeah.
10 years.
You can walk us through
um,
like maybe the intermediate, the first 5, 10 years, and then long-term decade over that. Because
I
we have to transition to 2030 and then 2035, I believe. Yeah. Because I think there's going to be I think we had a net zero target for like 2030. So, and we had the COP
uh-huh.
meeting recently in Brazil. So I know that people
Oh
are
gosh.
really trying to like accelerate exponentially on this. I know there's going to be a transitionary period and a rapid transition where we actually implement everything. So how would you see those next 5 to 10 years?
Man, I can't believe we're in 2025, first of
Yes,
all.
indeed. Time does go quickly. It does go quickly. I agree with that.
But I think slow fashion will move from being an alternative to becoming the standard. People are becoming more selective, not just with money, but with the values. Technology will make
Hmm.
transparency easier, and consumer will expect proof, not promises. It's a slow process. Again, good things take time. It's a slow process, but consumers are shifting towards sustainability and ethical processes. They are asking questions, especially Gen Z. They are questioning brands to be transparent,
Hmm.
be more ethical, and treat people fairly. So, in the next 5-10 years, there will be a positive change in this industry.
Yes, indeed. What do you think is making Gen Z ask all these questions? Because they're the ones, the younger generation is the ones reshaping the future of our industry. What do you think has made them be more conscious over the last, obviously, other than the fact that, you know, if you go to places like Rio, for instance, right, if you cut down the whole rainforest, the temperature will go up by 8 degrees. So we have the real feel of what climate change has done. I think that's one take I have. But what do you think is actually making our younger generation be more cautious than we were? be more cautious about the choices they make?
What I notice about Gen Z is we have a itch. not not in just
Okay.
sustainability thing, but overall, we just we are like to be into everything. But yeah, this is a positive thing, so I'm okay with that. Um, so Gen Z growing, what I feel like is Gen Z grew up seeing the consequences of overconsumption.
I agree.
They have witnessed climate change, not as a theory. It is not something that people in 90s were reading history that it happens in the past.
Mhm.
We actually have seen those events happening in the real time. So it's not a theory. Also, they have access to information like never before.
Yes, indeed.
We all do. It's just a click of, or maybe it's few
Yes,
taps,
indeed.
and so they question before everything. They value authenticity over perfection, and they want brands to stand for something real. This generation isn't afraid to call out hypocrisy with we want
Yes,
purpose
indeed.
to match the
I don't know, and
product.
you touched a bit about technology, how it's advanced over the last few years. We have more access to information. We have more ways of tracking things. So, how do you think
Hmm.
technology would help across supply chains to make brands more transparent and more accountable? Because that's what we really tend to achieve here.
For the season 2, I am having a guest. The very first guest that I'm starting the webisode, he built a platform where both brands and the people can be on the same platform and be transparent. The brands has to be 100%, 110%
Mm-hmm.
transparent. They're going to verify everything that needs to be done in order to, you know, show the
Yes, I
transparency.
agree.
So that's the technology that we need. That's the platforms that we need. We don't need uh, like Alibaba or something, those platform, or CJ shipping or shopping, whatever it is that, where just the brands are there and they're selling the things and they're having not so ethical
Mm-hmm.
processes. So we need to build the platforms where and the technologies, especially AI, we have right now. So it can be easier
Yes, indeed. Yes,
nowadays
indeed. I'll
to
I'll
build
bring
those.
out a guest as well quite soon as well. Her name is Isabel Mintus. She owns a company called Former,
Hmm.
and how
Hmm.
Former works is that it scores you an advent of AI to improve what you buy. Because normally, I believe the normal shopping process that young women go through, and also young men too as well, that
Yeah.
you buy clothing maybe two sizes up, three sizes, and you have to return the one that eventually fits you, of course. Is that there's this app that she's integrating and making that it size your body up that it only suggests clothes that would fit your body structure, and there's a reward learning process that's in it that and each iteration that you keep on boosting the score, it'll keep on suggesting good stuff for you. The more useful you are with the impact of the app, and I think those are some of the things that we should need to integrate too. And I think Zayshin was all benefit from that too. Is that if people could upload their body figures, their body sizes, because one thing I've noticed in fashion is that yeah, we're all humans, but we all have different shapes and sizes across the world. When it comes to diaspora, is that I think that we should be using technology way more to enhance this. I don't know if you think that Zayshin will definitely will do that. What's your take on that about using AI in terms of safety wise, in terms of cybersecurity technology awareness? Because I think that there's a bit of a fear of that when people have your dimensions. What security problems do you think could arise from that?
First of all, the guest that you're having, she is actually solving such a great
Yes, I
issue,
agree.
which as a brand owner, I also face a lot. Um, But I just wanted to remind people, and also I just wanted to tell that sometimes the clothes, the sizes that we put on the website, it's not. Of course, we try to make it 100% accurate. We are sometimes very, very hard with on the manufacturer to do the exact thing, and they actually follow that if it's a good manufacturer. But there's we always ask to allow us for a difference between 1 to 2 inches. So it's not a tailored made. It's already made, a pre-made garment that you're buying. So just be more mindful. If you can do some alter, do that. Don't return it, because sometimes that's a whole another process. But yeah, it's a good thing if you can upload your body type. It can definitely help you
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
to choose the right
Yes, indeed.
size.
So just to close, I just wanted to ask, so when people wear
Yeah.
Zeishin, what do you think what should they believe they represent? What do you think people should do when they walk outside when they're wearing Zeishin? What are you hoping that consumers' mindset is?
When people wear a sheen, I want them to feel grounded in purpose.
Hmm.
It's not just clothing, it's a reminder that elegance can exist without exploitation. They represent awareness, confidence, and compassion. Every place is designed to make you feel good about what you wear and why you wear
Yes,
it.
indeed, I agree.
It is the value that you're wearing. You can proudly say that I'm wearing Zeishin and it is ethically made without harming any human being, living being, and the planet. So it's a win-win for both. And of course, I want you to feel confident and the best of yourself,
Yes, I agree with that.
because that's the thing matters the most. If you feel confident in what you wear, you can conquer the
Mm.
world. I mean, the world means the things that you want it to do.
Yes, I agree with that. So I like the fact that you're combining minimalism, elegance without necessarily sacrificing personal style. That is such
Uh-huh.
a motivating brand. Where can people connect with you? On where can people find you? Find your team, your webisodes, your website, and any other contact information. Where do you think, where will people able to find you, Tafreed?
Yeah. Uh, we are on www.zayshin.com, the website. You can also find us on Instagram, Zayshin underscore underscore, 2 underscores. Thanks to Mark Zuckerberg.
Okay.
He banned my three three accounts before. So I don't know why. Whenever I create a new account, they always ban me. Um, but anyways, also you can find us on Zayshin Webisodes, where we share about the conscious
Yes, indeed.
voices. And the season 2 is actually premiering on January 1st. We covered a lot of different industries this time for the season 2. And yeah, that's about it. If you wanted to connect with me directly, I'll be more than happy to do so. Just connect me on underscore the freed.
Okay. Okay. Okay, hopefully we have some sustainably smart talk merchandise produced by Zaishin one day in the future. I do appreciate you reaching out and to come to this platform and cross-platform time zones. He's in New York, I'm here in England, and but
Yeah.
we're both dedicated to the same thing about leaving the planet a little bit better than before. Um, Other than that, thank you guys for joining today in Sustainably Smart Talks. I'm your host AJ McCarper, and a warm thanks to my guest here to Feedbar. Thank you so much.
No, it is my pleasure. Just wanted to thank you, AJ, again for having me and giving me the opportunity to being on the guest. This is my second podcast that I'm appearing as a guest on someone else's. Otherwise, I'm the host. I'm on the other side of the seat. And I wanted to thank to the people um who listen to this, and I just wanted to say to be more conscious with your decisions, with your choices in your daily life. Remember, sustainability isn't about perfection, it's about progress guided by purpose. And just be mindful.
Yes, indeed. Guided by purpose. And please do watch more webisodes. Without me watching the platform, I wouldn't have known that the second polluter, second industry that pollutes the world after
Oh
oil
yeah,
and gas is the fashion industry. So uh,
it's us.
it's us, definitely. So I understand that engaging in this platform, I hope you can spread this message to your family members, your friends, and the community at large, so that we can keep on making a better difference in the world that we live for tomorrow. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay, bye.
Bye.